vinyl community, Jeff here. So I was going to do a video about some stuff I got in anyway, but then, I wanted, before I get to that, I wanted to kind of tell a story of last night. Last night, a friend and I went to a local club in town to see a tribute band, an Iron Maiden tribute band, Eyes of the Nile. See that? They're from the Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area. I didn't know a lot about them. I knew they were coming. Me and another friend who saw Maiden a couple years ago when they come to town. We see them whenever they come to town. I'm like, hey, you want to go? And he's like, sure. And so we went. And they were really good. I didn't know anything about them. I looked them up actually after the fact. Found out that they've actually been around since at least like 2016. I'm seeing clips that far back. So 6 years plus. So we go, and it's a fairly small club. Nice, not too bad. And it was good. It was good. They were really good. It was a really good show. They played not only your typical stuff that you'd want to, think that they'd hear greatest hits, but they were also, and they announced it. They said, we're not just going to be playing the typical 101 type stuff. It's going to be some deeper cuts. And they were, doing deeper cuts. I assumed they were going to be doing just stuff from the early years, but they did do one from the brand new album. They did the Writings on the Wall while the video played. That's the only one that I recall that they played. That would have been in the second Bruce phase. Everything else was from the first few, the classic albums, including, that where they played Iron Maiden from the early Paul Di'Anno years. Anyway, so they're there and they're playing, and going along, and then I keep out of the corner of my eye, I kept thinking, wait a minute, and then I'm like, hold it. And I kept staring at the guitar player, and I'm like, oh my goodness. From the angle and the lighting of him being on the side of the stage, I'm like, that looks just like Josh Keach. And if you're not familiar with Josh, he's a member of the music community here. And go check out his channel. He's into, metal and everything. But I'm like, there's no way he came to America, joined a band, and he's over here playing. But I swear, every time he's playing, I kept looking and seeing Josh. So anyway, Josh, if you snuck over here and changed your name and played with this band, then good for you. But anyway, just thought that was kind of interesting that, and no matter how many times, I just kept seeing him when I looked at him. So, same type of hairstyle and everything, much bigger beard. But anyway, all right, enough of that. It was a good show. If you're in the East Coast, and they're supposedly the East Coast premier Iron Maiden tribute band. Now, at this same club, there's a lot of these type of bands that are coming through, and I guess I might go check out more. I think there's a Mostly Crew is a Motley Crue tribute. There is a Van Halen tribute. There is an Ozzy tribute. There is Pink Floyd and the Grateful Dead. But those three are all coming like in the next week or two. I don't know how they all got together, but I may go check out some of these other ones. I had never been to the club before, and it's in a decent part of town, not too far from home, and it was set up pretty well. And anyway, good food too. So, all right, into the new stuff. So this is stuff actually is coming over the past couple weeks. I just have never gotten a chance to show yet. A couple videos ago, a handful of videos ago, I picked up the High Roller versions, reissues of the first few the Rods albums, and I finally got the second two, which I guess completes the original vinyl. They have some new albums that have come out in the past couple years that I don't have, but these are going to be all of the albums that came out before that. So Heavier Than Thou, and and they've got the same treatment. They've got posters and extras and booklets. And the Rods, if you're not familiar with them, again, they're like a New York band. They never really made it huge, but they were big in a lot of our circles as far as hard rocking, great stuff. Guitar player, is known for being the cousin of Ronnie James Dio, and he's done some stuff with a song or so with Dio. And anyway, they've done a lot of projects. And Carl Kennedy, the drummer, is always popping up, producing. He's got all kinds of stuff, and he's got a band called Kennedy, and the list goes on. They're very, entrenched in the music. So anyway, got that. And then the one that one of my favorite albums, and the one that I didn't get when I initially got it, was Let Them Eat Metal. And so I'm glad to finally have this. And all of these are on Well, the early ones were in color, but I think these that I got were all strictly black. And again, posters, they got the treatment. High Roller Records does an amazing treatment. Most of them, I think, were gatefolds. This one is not. But it's got inserts, got the poster. Got a big hairy man on there. Anyway, I mean, just a great, solid rocking band. And finally glad to have those two. I think I got this from a guy on Discogs. I was going after something else, and he had this, and it was a good price. This is the Music on Back on Black reissue of the first Avenger album. I think they had an EP before this or an EP after this, but this would have been the first one. Now, sort of humor story, not really, but back in the day, 84, 85, I think when this came out, I was in the military. I used to go to the record store like every payday and spend all my money on records. And they had a indie section, independent and imports. And this was in there all the time. And I flipped past this all the time. I was very intrigued by the cover. It's got a guy with the, the very Raven-esque, overseas type, Raven-esque looking sports stuff with studs connected all to his thing. And he's got a chainsaw, and it's all red. And so I don't know how many times I picked up this album and for some reason just never bought it. So it's always had that embroidered in my mind, this cover. And so I'm like, I got to pull the trigger and get it. I bought their newer album on sale from some place and really enjoyed it. They've got albums from the past couple years, but this is the early stuff from the 80s. And, it's cool. It's cool to have great stuff. So that cover, I'm just always see that, and I'm like, I have to go ahead and get it. I turned it down for so many years back in the day. And then I picked up this for a decent price. This is the Mickey Rat, the Rat era best of. And what it is, it's not a best of Rat. It's not really even Mickey Rat tunes. If you're not familiar with Rat, of course, before they were Rat, Stephen Pearcy, the band was called Mickey Rat. It had all kinds of people in it. Everybody from Jakey Lee to some other people who went through the through the lineup of Mickey Rat before they finally solidified a lineup, changed the name to Rat, and went on. Now, Mickey Rat recorded a bunch of songs, and there are CDs and bootlegs and stuff like that out there, and this is not any of that. This is actually a re-recording of Mickey Rat renditions, but it's also going to have the Rat songs. Round and Round, You Think You're Tough, You Got It, Sweet Cheater, Lack of Communication, Lay It Down, You're in Love, Back for More, I'm Insane, Dr. Rock, Driving on E, and Top Secret. Those are all three just straight up Mickey Rats, but a lot of those other songs were Mickey Rat songs before they were later became actual Rat songs. So it's kind of like Rat / Mickey Rat. And on guitars, we got George Lynch and Tracy Guns. They on different songs they play. So again, it's kind of it's a re-record, modern day rendition, Steven singing, and it's just a remake of a bunch of the old songs under the name Mickey Rat. So it came on pink and gray and the silver, I guess you'd call this, and I got the silver one. Anyway, that's a fairly recent release, even though I've had the CD for many years. The vinyl, I think, just came out in the past year or so on Deadline. Anyway, that's all. I'm going to cut it there. Thanks for watching. I'll be back. Josh, quit sneaking over here and playing in that band. I can tell it was you. Anyway, rock on and rock.